Hey Arctic Warriors, what's up? Arctic Phoenix here. I'm gonna go talk about the course tournament that happened in Wake Forest yesterday, what my thoughts are on it. Honestly, this isn't the first time a player got injured from hosing a fan storming court. Like Catlin Clark got dead when Ohio State fan ran into her after Iowa lost to Ohio State. So, I mean, fortunately, she doesn't really hang back tallying at all, but this was problematic back then. But now a lot more eyeballs are on the issue because of the Filipowski incident. Like, and even though he was kind of like retaliating a little bit on the court, I mean, it was just a very precarious situation after that game. And honestly, like, I don't know what to really think of the whole court storming incident. I do believe that at least in college basketball that it's becoming way too frequent, and this was always a risk, and it was proven yesterday, as well as the Iowa Ohio State women's basketball game. Yeah, I mean, one of my friends from high school actually played college basketball for UW Whitewater, and I don't know how many times the court was stormed on Whitewater when she was playing after losses, but if something were to happen to her, it wouldn't even reach the news at all. At least not nationally. I personally think that court storming should be reserved for like the big upsets, if that, and only if after the players leave the court. Otherwise, it's just way too commonplace in college basketball, and as it showed with the Catlin Clark and Kyle Filipowski incidents, injuries are an obvious risk, especially if like they're just in the middle of the court and not expecting it. I mean, and then again, Filipowski, he didn't really do himself any favors by going at trying to trip the fans and all that. I mean, but still, it's a dangerous situation for the fans. It's a dangerous situation for players, and it's a dangerous situation for the coaches. I'm not saying court tournaments should be banned or anything, but I feel that it should be reserved for like the truly big upsets. Wake Forest was actually favored in that game to beat Duke, and the fans still stormed the court. So I don't know. I mean, I understand it more in college football because upsets really don't happen that often, especially when it involves unranked teams beating ranked teams. Like I do kind of understand that to a certain extent. I mean, but even there's the obvious risk of injury as well. But the only difference is the players are all padded up so they can at least absorb some of the blow more. Basketball, there's no pads. I mean, and this court is a lot more condensed, so the risk is obviously bigger for instance like what happened to Filipowski. I personally think that court tournament should be reserved for number one, truly monumental upsets like a ranked team losing to some like middle of the road team, and I mean like a true middle of the road team or a bottom feeder in D1. And number two, make sure the players leave the court before the fans storm on. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if court storm and field storm becomes a thing of the past altogether, especially considering you got two or arguably two faces of the sport, one for men's, one for women's, that got dinged up because of this. So, anyhow, those are just my thoughts on court storming. I mean, thank you. Have a nice day.